Welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Oh, hi, Alba. Last time, we got bailed out of a really bad situation by Professor Alba, and were actually able to cross the border, on foot though, because the airships were being inspected. And now it's time to head into the royal city of Grancel, our final destination. And everyone's just going about their daily lives, none the wiser as to this sinister plot that's unfolding. We also have the exact same music as Genis Royal Academy, which is honestly slightly disappointing, because you'd think the capital city of the country would have its own unique theme, but I guess it makes sense. Like, this is really Grancel's theme, not the Royal Academy theme. So, Joshua's giving a brief rundown of what to find in this place. But I'm more concerned about that crepe stand to the right, because it actually has a new recipe for us. Okay, so Joshua's been to this place before. Seems like there are a lot of places Joshua's been to before. Oh boy, yep, the Imperial Capital is way, way bigger. You'll know that if you played Cold Steel. The Imperial Capital is so huge that an entire chapter takes place there. And you're locked out of half the city for most of it, and it's still massive. Well, yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. I'm sure most big cities like this have major museums. Well, that's a little bit of a harsher line, considering what I've read in Carnelia at this point. Considering we now know that artifacts are the kind of thing people would literally kill for. Well, I mean, you know, maybe you can find someone who would instruct you in, does brawling affect staves? I'm actually not really sure what kind of instruction staves would require. I'm going to be showing off the museum eventually, because it does have some pretty good world-building info. For now, though, I just want to give a brief overview of this place. He definitely has a lot of clout if his credentials alone were enough to get us across the border. So our first stop is supposed to be the guild, but I want to take care of a few other things first. Yeah, definitely not. I mean, that definitely doesn't work in real life. And yet, one of them's lost the tickets. So there are a few food stalls here, and most of them sell the same kinds of food you could find earlier in the game, so here's somewhere to catch up on any recipes you missed. But this stall, I think, has something new. Yep, gorgeous crepe is something that we actually don't have yet, so let's go ahead and buy that, and immediately eat it to get it in our recipe log. Thankfully, we're actually missing a little bit of HP, so that's convenient. We are slowly approaching the end of the recipe list, actually. The popcorn machine is broken, though, so we can't buy anything there. And no one's manning that stall. Now, the Bracer Guild is right there, but there's actually a different guild right next door, the Fisherman's Guild. We've actually heard mention of this much earlier in the game, but this is finally where it is. And I believe someone we can meet here... Yeah, we recognize that name! I believe that's the guy that Olivier blew into the ear of. So yeah, NPCs do travel through the world, and we end up meeting them later quite often. This conversation's entirely optional, I just find it pretty cool. Actually, you know, meeting a character that we met briefly earlier on. The Fisherman's Guild doesn't really do anything in this game specifically. We also have an Orbital Factory. I've always liked the name of this place, Wingard Orbital Factory, although that just makes me think of Wingard Leviosa, the failed way that I think it was Seamus Finnegan tried to cast Wingardium Leviosa and, as always, exploded something. I forget if his tendency to explode things was added in the movies or whether it was also in the books. Anyway, let's see if there are any new quartz we can get. Oh, we can get Defense 3, although we don't have enough Earth for that. Actually, Freeze is new, may as well buy that. Shield 3, but we don't have enough to afford that. Or Evade 3. Action 3. Definitely good to save up for that one. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that Cast 3 is actually not until the second game. We also have access to EP Cut 3. Yeah, these are all pretty expensive in terms of Seepith. And we already have Hit 3. So, something to look forward to, I guess. I do have a plan for getting all of those quartz. Don't worry too much about getting all the quartz for the achievement now. There is actually an Orbital Factory in the final dungeon, and the enemies there drop tons of Seepith, so it's not hard to grind there. But anyway, we have access to some new weapons, so let's go ahead and buy the Battle Staff and the Schneiders. Shield Coat is also a new piece of armor, although it's incredibly expensive. Though, a party member is going to join with one of those already equipped, so we don't really need to buy that now. Also, yeah, Agate's been nice and left all of his stuff in the inventory, so we can go ahead and sell most of that. And, yeah, no point in not selling all of these. I think right now one shield coat's probably fine. Might actually want to go ahead and grab a pair of those, though. Well, a pair of those. And sadly, we have to say goodbye to the Beta Stragers because the composites are better. Gotta make sure that I still have money, though, because here we have the Sunnybell Inn. And just, like, look very closely at that blackboard there. I think it says fruit juice, soda water, and tea with milk. Funnily enough, they sell exactly none of those here. But we can at least get mixed cocktail, which actually cures all status ailments, which I may as well want to grab a few of those. And refreshing pie. I only really need to buy one of those. And also a Bouillabaisse. So, not Bouillabaisse Plus. Now, this is kind of interesting. I believe there's slightly different dialogue for this. Yep, they're actually outright lampshading this, this, magical recipe alerting thing. So while I'm here, I may as well get the other recipes out of the way. And on the subject of recipes, if we head to the west, through here, I can spin the camera around just to show it off, we're at the Grancel West Block. Now, this place has quite a few things we can check out. This place in particular, it's not really directly plot relevant. But I talked to the people there, they mentioned the Master's return. And she says her grandpa's coming home. Ah, children always, you know, waiting for their favourite grandparents to visit. I used to be like that too when I was a lot younger. So, it's not obvious yet, but I guess I can say it. This is General Morgan's home. So, that was Morgan's granddaughter. And here we have the Grancel Cathedral. There isn't that much for us to do here, but just remember that it's a pretty big place. They have a new sister here currently. Okay then. Wow. Is that a head maid? Does she happen to be extremely powerful with an axe? So, we can't actually go to the port right now, and if I'm remembering correctly, we don't get to go to the port at all until the second game. Speaking of the second game, there's a house here that's for sale. Remember that for the second game, it's not going to be important just yet. But why I'm here is, well, two reasons. We have the coffee house here, which actually gives us access to a few things. We can get Chef's Curry, which gives us the recipe for that, as well as Rich Espresso, which is new. I like the bread there too. So the second reason I wanted to come here is because this here is actually the home base of the LaBelle News. So this is where Niall and Dorothy spend most of their time working. And we're pretty famous around these parts, obviously, because we've worked directly with Niall in the past. Or at least, you know, coincidentally bumped into each other right when he was working on an article. Obviously, they've told them a lot about us. Yes, we are, because there's an achievement for it. But we're not going to tell them that's the only reason. You know what? Maybe it's a relief that Niall's not here. Well, they're certainly excited about something. Also, through here is an entrance to, well, somewhere that we will actually be going to later on in this game. That's actually somewhere that we will not be saving for the second game. Here we go, this guy right here. Pretty sure you're supposed to talk to this guy quite early because he explains how this city works. I kind of jumped the gun there. So, North Block is the castle and hotels, and the West Block has, well, we were just there. In the East are all the embassies, the arenas, and general goods stores. We'll need to know where the general goods store is because we will be buying LaBelle News from there later. You can't actually buy LaBelle News directly from their main workplace, though. So here we have the Northern Block of Grancel. There are actually some pretty funny NPC interactions over here. I'm not going to show them for the sake of brevity, but there are some pretty nice NPC side stories. In particular, one of my favorites is this one family who, the father keeps getting them up early in the morning to get them to see the arenas. Yeah, I just wanted to check, but right now there's nobody we know staying in the hotel. Let's just say there might be eventually. If we go through here, this actually leads straight to Grancel Castle. And we have a pretty grandiose sounding theme for this. Obviously, though, no entry to this place yet. But I mean, it was worth a shot, I guess. And so the one block that I haven't shown yet is to the east. Like I said, here's where all the embassies are, but this is also where the History Museum is, so remember that if you want to go ahead and talk to Professor Alba. He does have some new dialogue at various points in this chapter. We also have the Grancel landing port, aka where we would have entered this city from if the army wasn't getting nosy. You may also want to remember this place for later. In fact, hey, I know that airship, let's just go down there and see what's going on. Of course it has been. So, on suspicion of treason and terrorism, their airship has kind of been confiscated. But looking further through this block, here is the Erebonian Embassy. This is actually where we were before in that cutscene, where Olivier was talking to that person named Mueller. We don't quite know who Mueller is at this point, but he's semi-important. Down here is yet another entrance to somewhere that we will be going later, but not quite yet. Over here we have the Grand Arena. Nice camera spin there. Unfortunately, we don't have any tickets to that. Okay. Hi there, female Henry. In the center of this block, we have the Edel department store. No, hey, you're from Minoria Village. I don't know if we could actually see you back there originally. Oh, by the way, this lady right here, she has amazing dialogue throughout this entire chapter. You won't know it yet, but, these two are actually kind of in a bit of rivalry. It's great. Okay, we can buy more ingredients, so if you want to make ice cream, now's the time. Over here, they sell... Aha! Labelle News Issue 8. I knew we'd have access to that sooner or later. I wanted to make sure that I grabbed that. Over here, we have access to accessories. And yes, I did mention that you could buy proxy puppets later on. Like I said earlier, these do effectively rob you of one accessory slot, so be kind of careful when you use them. But I may as well get one for the time being. We can also buy a Mirage Ring, which will prevent Petrify. Might be useful going forward, but, getting extra one of those might not be a bad idea right now either. Also, something that I just want to make sure to bring up right now. You don't have to buy these yet. You will get another chance to buy these later. But for something coming up, you want 2 to 3 feather brooches, as well as potentially glam chokers. They don't even sell lily necklaces here, do they? Oh, they do. As well as 2 to 3 lily necklaces. In fact, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and straight up buy 2 feather brooches. And I think I'll just get 1 glam choker as well. These things are going to be very, 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 very useful for an upcoming boss fight. Oh, by the way, these two right here. This is Ricky. And this is Anton. Anton is kind of a perpetual loser who is kind of like the Casanova types from Fire Emblem, except even less successful. Anton and Ricky are recurring NPCs throughout the entire Trails series. This is the first time we meet them, but we'll be seeing them a lot again in the future. Now, one place that you want to make sure to visit while you're here, though, is this area. This is the second orbally powered clock. So, yeah, Zeiss kind of beat them to it, but no, this is what you really want. And in fact, there are some points during this chapter where there's a queue here and you can't shop here, but this place right here, special ice cream. Not only is this a new recipe, but it's also one of the best sources of CP restoration. So you want to go ahead and buy as many of those as you can. They're going to be very useful later on. For now, though, I'm just going to get the recipe. Okay, I sold some things so I had a lot more mirror. I'm going to buy way more of this ice cream. I would definitely recommend stocking up on that. Oh, okay, one more place that I haven't quite shown yet. Down here is the Calvard Embassy. We'll want to remember that for later, but it's not going to be all that relevant right now. So that's pretty much everything we can just show off from the city, so let's head to the Bracer Guild. And meet quite a few other people here. We've seen a few of these bracers before. Actually, we've seen, I believe we've seen all of them before except one. One of them you may not have met right now. Also, Elnan, there's something that I really want to say about the way Elnan looks, but I can't say it just yet. Anyway, yeah, there's some weird thing I find about him, but anyway, let's, get reintroduced to these people. So this is Grant. We met him on the way to Bose. This is Kana. We met her in the Ruin region. That's Annalise. You can optionally meet her during Chapter 1, but you have to kind of go out of your way to do so. And Kurt, who we actually haven't seen before. Ah, well, if it isn't the one who got kind of knocked out by those black-clad soldiers and lost, Matron Teresa's money. Well, I wonder what that was all about. Don't worry, we're only one step away from becoming full-fledged bracers ourselves. Yes, of course they are. Let's just hope Kana does better there than against the black-clad soldiers. Oh, good to know these bracer branches are always in contact. Let's just cut right to the chase. So we have a new base of operations. I'm sure Elnan has heard a lot about us over the course of what we've been doing, and of course, yet more people who know Cassius. Who isn't, seriously? In fact, I'm pretty sure people who haven't even been born yet are in Cassius Bright's debt. Yeah, it's likely he's still... And that's exactly what I was about to say. He's not in Liberl anymore. And considering what they were saying about the Bracer Guilds in the Empire being attacked, he's probably there right now. Yeah, I suppose he has a right to know. Yeah, that expression's probably a natural reaction. True, and everywhere. I think most people were. Yeah, that's gonna be the hard part. They probably have the castle on watch constantly right now. That is very true. So, believe it or not, this is actually a bonus BP question, and even though this option's technically true, this is the one that you need to select here. I was just about to say that, except I kinda doubt... Wow, I was just about to say that too. What is it with this game and predicting my thought processes exactly? I was just about to say they probably weren't gonna fall for the same thing twice. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure most gatekeepers just say, "Greetings, Professor, nothing to report." Very, very true, which is why leaking it potentially to Alba would have been really bad. Okay, so now that I've taken care of everything I wanted to in the city, there's no reason not to just head straight to the castle. The thing about this song is, we actually heard a pipe organ variant of it during the play, which is kind of a nice detail. A bit of foreshadowing to music that we'll actually be hearing later on. You'll also probably have heard a bit of the melody of this song, I believe, in the Border Garrison themes as well. It's sort of a common motif of the Liberl Kingdom. Oh, this is not going to end well, is it? You know, that's very true. I thought we were supposed to keep that part under wraps. Okay, birthday celebration. Would only be able to see her from a great distance there, though. And also, there's that whole fake, failing health situation. Which is probably a euphemism for she's under house arrest. A bit of conflicting perspectives here. Oh, don't tell me. Please don't tell me. There are two potential answers to this question, and both are terrible. Princess, huh? This is a really cool gate, by the way. And look who it is. Yep, of course. Of course, we're all doomed. We're doomed. This country is doomed forever. Of course! Even more doomed. So, you know when I said there were two answers to that question and both were horrible? Turns out the correct answer is both of them. The Duke is acting as the proxy for the Queen, and he's such an idiot that the Colonel is acting as his assistant in giant air quotes and running everything behind the scenes. Therefore, not only is Duke Dunan basically taking over, but Colonel Richard now essentially runs the country. This was probably his plan from the very beginning. Well, we definitely learned a lot then, but it's a very horrifying picture. Yeah, that's why the intelligence division was a little suspect. Normally, we'd chalk Estelle going up, wanting to go there to, you know, wanting to fight things, but here we actually kind of have a reason. So, let's head to the east block of Grancel. Okay, let's head straight to the Grand Arena. And, well, let's get some tickets first. Well, do we get discounted tickets for that? No, we don't. Wait a minute, do I actually not have enough? Okay. Do I have enough for that? Yeah, I do, good. I was thinking for a second that I was getting dialogue I'd never seen before because I didn't have enough money to afford the ticket, but yeah. I should probably see what happens if you do that, but I'm sure there's obviously a way to get money. Like, you can go out and fight enemies to get Seepeth and sell that, so yeah, I have way more than enough. Like, there's no way you can possibly get into an unwinnable situation here. I still think it's really cool that in Pokemon Yellow version specifically, if you don't have enough money for the Safari Zone, you actually do get let in for free with only one Safari Ball, just to kind of patch that potential unwinnable situation in Red and Blue.